Hello everyone, welcome to Chasing a Murderer. And today I wanted to do a story, and it's a story that many people, they don't know how to take this story because it's so unbelievable, so shocking, and what a mystery it is. A woman that lives in Florida now grew up in Iowa, and she is saying that her father, well, he was a prolific serial killer, killing up to 70 people. As a child, you try to tell people, but no one listens. Lucy Studey was a tiny child when she says she helped her father, Donald Studey, dispose of transit women's bodies. For the majority of her life, she has kept, quite a few secrets for nearly 45 years. Not because she didn't try to tell people, but because no one seemed to care. Lucy said that she actually tried to tell her teachers or anyone who would listen, especially police, and the teacher said to her that family matters should be handled as a family. And as for police, well, they don't trust the memories of a child. She begged and hoped that anyone would listen to her story, but they kind of do, but they just don't take it seriously. So why does it matter now? She says she wants to bring closure to these women and give them a proper burial. Lucy also claimed that her siblings knew about this as well because he asked them to help dispose of the bodies. Well, one sibling is denying it, and the other, well, he took his own life at age 39 by suicide. So clearly, there might be some mental issues going on within the family, especially since we heard a few details about her father, and we'll go into those details here and there throughout this video. But one of them being is on his hands, or his knuckles on both hands. One hand, he had love tattooed on his knuckles, and then on the other side, he had hate. And that seems to be a sign that he had struggles between angels and devils. What's weird is kids from this area, including some that are with the law officials these days, said that they've heard these, rumors that there were people that were buried in the well or on property around there for years. But no one just didn't take it serious. As for Lucy, she says that she remembers several of the victims. And one of them victims was not a woman, it was a male, where her father said he deserved it. At least that's what a reporter says. Another one she remembers is, she says the majority of these victims were white women, but there was one she remembers being 15 years old and that she was a runaway. So she knew details of these people. So something else that was interesting and stood out is she claimed that her father liked to keep gold teeth as trophies. Well, this kind of is questionable because not many white women in those days would have gold teeth. So where are these gold teeth coming from? And the bigger question is, where are these gold teeth now? Now, what we're being told is Lucy did reach out to police multiple times, and in 2007, police and Lucy go out to a piece of property where there was a well. This would be a problem because the well was not located on what she would say was her father's property. As a child, they did live on about, what I'm finding out right now, this isn't for certain, around 5 acres of land. Lucy says that she remembers vividly helping her father take some of these bodies to this area. She is quoted saying, "Every time I went to the well or into the hills, I didn't think I was coming down. I thought he would kill me because I wouldn't keep my mouth shut," end quote. So that kind of collaborates with what she was saying. She was kind of talking to teachers and other people about this when she was a child. There will be several times that police considered looking deeper into this, one of those years being 2021. But it was really 2022 that police really started taking it a little bit more seriously. In October of 2022, police ramp up their efforts and they take out a pro bono dog trainer and his cadaver dogs. October 21st, The dogs seemed to hit both of them in the same area. Supposedly, they were not guided to the area. One of the dogs' signs that they found something is it barked in an area, and the other sat still in that area. In one article, they mentioned how odd it was that both dogs hit in the same spot without being directed to do so. In another news article, the sheriff, Kevin Astrop, hope I said that right, asked the Iowa Division of Criminal Investigation for assistance. He also says that the FBI will join in. What's strange is they're having trouble identifying the exact house that Donald Studey lived in. Eventually, they did figure out that this was the house, and they removed a lot of the video showing houses or that house in many of the feature articles of the story. But no doubt, Lucy believes that her father is one of the most prolific serial killers in the United States. But they're just not finding any major evidence to say, yeah, she's right. But also, police, they only have so much money and so much equipment that they can use, or so much time they can put into this case. But even with other agencies and the FBI, they really don't put too much effort into it. This little rural area in Fremont County in Iowa, well, it's become quite an interest for true crime people. Let's share a few clips of what the sheriff had to say when they started searching this property.
This morning, the FBI is joining the search for potentially dozens of bodies after an Iowa woman came forward claiming her father was a serial killer.
We are actively investigating this, and who wouldn't?
Authorities are searching an area in Fremont County, Iowa, where a woman, now 53, says as a child she helped her dad, Donald Dean Studey, dispose of up to 70 bodies at the bottom of a well.
According to Lucy, this was done over a 30-year period. At first, the sheriff said that this will take some time to investigate.
All we have is a woman came forward and told us a story about bodies in a well.
It would take them a few more months to get started on actually investigating this. The local sheriff's department worked side by side with the FBI, as well as a few other agencies. Now you got to remember, this well, it's about 90 feet deep, and it's been filled in since her father lived there. Now remember, he passed away in 2013. Police and investigators descend on the property in Green Hollow, which is southwest Iowa. According to investigators, they do believe that what Lucy is saying is true, and that the dogs, the cadaver dogs, actually backed up the possibility that there may be human remains in the area. So the sheriff department, well, they told the press, well, several press members, quote, "I believe her 100% that there's bodies in there. It's hard for me to believe that the two dogs would hit in the exact same places and it be false. We don't know what it is. The settlers were up there. There was Indian country up there as well. But I tend to believe Lucy," end quote. So, if these bodies are there, they would have been there a very long time. Nearly 30 years. Would cadaver dogs be able to pick that scent up? What I found was there were a few cases where cadaver dogs were able to pick up the scent of a 25-year case. So law enforcement agencies prepared to dig for potential remains. So this is around December of 2022. Lucy seems to be quite excited over the fact that they may be able to lay these women to rest. But on the other hand, her sister Susan is talking to Newsweek and says that her sister just made all of this stuff up. And during this time, Susan's 55, and she only wants to be identified by her maiden name, Studey. In Rolling Stone, she actually rebukes her sister's allegations once again. According to a few articles, Iowa's Division of Criminal Investigation releases a statement about 3 days after digging and testing the soil on Studey's former property. For Lucy, this must have been devastating. They'd say, "We found nothing. We found no evidence of any bodies or remains being in the area." The next day, Lucy stood her ground. She is quoted in the Des Moines Register. Quote, "One day or another, those bodies are coming up, with or without help." End quote. And just a few days after that, Lucy's sister Susan sent Rolling Stone a post that Lucy had published on her personal Facebook account. She thanks Newsweek for believing in her, and then tells the law enforcement agencies to, quote, "Go F yourself," end quote. Not only that, she said, "You'll have one more dead body in the morning, mine." So kind of insinuating that, she's going to take her own life. But when other news reporters reached out for comment to her, Lucy responded to them, she is fine and that she is okay. Lucy told reporters that she expects something big from the Division of Criminal Justice to be announced soon. But we are hearing through the statement and through investigators that they're done with this, that this case is finished. The reason is they didn't find anything, they didn't discover anything that was, standing out or even collaborated with her accusations about her father. It is concluded, and there is nothing coming from the agency. Lucy's sister claimed that Lucy has made up stories and accusations in the past. This isn't the first time that she's told a story. See, there's a story out there where Donald tells the sheriff that Lucy had stole $16,000 from him. According to Susan, this is her way of getting back at her father and accusing him of burying bodies on their property. Remember, Lucy had said that she had told her teacher, some priest, and the police when she was a child about these accusations. So I'm sure police went back and kind of tried to find these people that she claimed that she talked to. In fact, Lucy's sister Susan says that she remembers her dad talking about the incident. Quote, he goes, "Lucy called the sheriff and accused me of being a serial killer," end quote. Susan says at that point that, she says, "Yeah, right." And they both giggled. According to Susan, it's after that, or shortly after that, that her father reported $16,000 being stolen from him from Lucy. According to Susan, Lucy pulled into Susan's driveway crying and claimed that she had been falsely accused. Susan said that her sister Lucy was bawling, and she goes, "I'll strip down. You can search my car. I don't have it." At some point, Susan said Lucy admitted to Newsweek that she took the money as a way to hurt her father and told Rolling Stone the same thing. Susan claims that she didn't know this was true until she read about it in the news. So, do you think this is a family dispute or what's going on? So here's a little bit of background. According to a few reports, Donald, the father of these two women, was a known recluse who made people wary. In his lifetime, he had multiple encounters with law enforcement, most of them being minor arrests. There was a charge in 1994 of assault with an intent to cause serious injury. He pled guilty and had that reduced to a criminal mischief charge. It seems that he had threatened several people's lives, over this 30-year span, including a live-in girlfriend, and has been known to be suicidal. Police had to talk him out of killing himself one time. He had actually shot himself in the arm with the deputies present. Donald did spend a little bit of time in jail. Larceny in the 1950s. He was arrested in 1989 in Omaha for drunk driving. In one article, Susan admits that her father could be intimidating, but she says this was only when he felt his family was threatened. Susan says there was this one time in the 70s when a group of hippie kids in a car came barreling up a secluded dirt road just past their house and almost hit their brother. Her dad was mad, so he decided to put nails into a board and run it across the road. Donald waits that car to drive back by, and he tosses that board out, and of course it flattens the tires. Susan remembers that those frightened teens looked toward their house and said that they could see her dad standing on the porch holding a spare wooden board in his hand. There were several other times where he would stand on the porch like a soldier with a gun in his hand. In the same breath, she said still, her father was sweet and loved all kids. He was caring. But she says, I'm not saying he's an angel. He's not an angel, but he loved all four of us. So that's a quite interesting story. I wanted to share that with you guys and see what you guys think. I mean, there's a lot more I'm sure we can learn from this, but do you think that Lucy's making this up? Or do you think it's been so many years and that they didn't dig deep enough? You gotta remember that well was 90 feet deep. Do you think police might have missed something? Of course, this family sounds like it has a few dysfunctions going on, maybe a few mental illnesses, maybe suffering from depression, we don't know. And suicide has been mentioned one too many times. Please share your thoughts below, guys. Don't forget, we still have girls out there that remain missing. They have no answers for their story or their case. Take time to check out Kiera Cole and Jasmine Robinson. Love you guys, and I'll see you guys soon.